everyone. I'm here again, Lydia, the podiatrist, with my colleague and my boss, Nicole.
Hi!
Now, today we want to talk about a different topic, something that you'll see common during the summertime, and that is forefoot pain. So just to give you a bit of description about forefoot pain, it's called metatarsalgia, commonly used and encountered in the medical field. You will find a lot of GPs will be talking about metatarsalgia during the summertime. Now, there's various causes that can lead to forefoot pain, but just to name the top 6, I'll just outline that for you right now. So first of all, capsulitis, also known as synovitis, it is a joint destruction of the forefoot that leads to fluid leakage, leads to swelling, as well as inflammation. It is commonly seen amongst those who do have arthritis, and the longer you've had the capsulitis, the more likely you'll develop the arthritis in the joint, but as well as in severe cases, displacement or dislocation of the joint. 2, intermetatarsal bursitis. Bursitis is an inflammation of the fluid sac that lies in between the intermetatarsal region. So the bursa plays a very important role, which is this little sac in between these two bones to prevent friction, allow shock absorption, and finally reduce any trauma that can lie in between these structures. For example, you have nerves and tendon that lies in between, so it's quite important that the fluid sac is there to protect those intrinsic structures. Another thing that you'll see is Morton's neuroma. Now, neuroma is an enlarged nerve that's caused by irritation. And once again, in between those metatarsal shaft, you'll find that there's a nerve that lies in between these two bones. With irritation, it can enlarge and therefore it can become inflamed. So common symptoms you'll experience is like sharp shooting pain, particularly to the toes. And also you may notice is that it gets fairly tight, especially by the end of the day. So it's quite important is that we get this addressed as quick as possible, because the later you leave it, the harder it does get to treat. 4th is a stress fracture. Now, stress fracture are common in the thinnest link of the bone. So in this case, it would be the metatarsal shafts again, and this is the weakest link of the bone. So with excessive load to the forefoot, it can cause the bone integrity itself to break, and therefore it can cause fragmentation or potential can progress into a complete fracture. So common symptoms that you'll see with a fracture is a lot of swelling, focal pain specific to that area, and finally a lot of redness. Now, our 5th is a plantar plate tear. Now, not many people know what a plantar plate tear is, but a plantar plate is a ligament that holds the metatarsals to the phalanx, which is the toes. Now, depending on your activities, the kind of shoes you're wearing, this can undergo significant stress, especially if you hyperextend the toes. So when I say hyperextended, the toes goes towards the leg. If there's too much of that hyperextension, it can cause a potential micro tear and even a complete rupture. So once again, very common amongst those who wear poor footwear like high heels. Second, it can be activity related, and finally, it can even be a part of a complication from a bunion. So if you do have a bunion, just watch out for that. Finally, the other last thing that we commonly see is tendon and muscular injuries and sprains during times where we don't tend to like to wear our shoes, or maybe the shoes that we're wearing isn't appropriate. What happens is that all the muscle structure, which is greater than a handful, these muscle groups end up working very hard to the point where it causes a substantial amount of tissue stress. As a result, you get inflammation by the end of the day, and that would explain the general aches and pains that you experience even at the beginning of the day and the end of the day. So what can we do to address these 6 problems? Now, the 2 most common treatments that we provide that addresses all these conditions is the metatarsal support. So metatarsal support are specific paddings that is added to your forefoot. So it lies underneath this hollow spot, which is called the transverse arch, to stop it from collapsing and maintain this beautiful integrity of the arch. Now, the metatarsal support, it comes in various shapes and sizes. So various shapes and size and density. So depending on what your symptoms are, we will choose different types of padding to cater for that. And finally, depending on how severe your symptoms are, we can even dispense a custom orthotic that's not only designed just to support your forefoot, but your midfoot and your rear foot. So we can also adjust the metatarsal support based on your symptoms, how much area is affected, and also the level of pain. Now, I'll take you through to Nicole's after all that chats.
Hi, I'm just going to talk a little bit about bike riding because that's something that a few of us here love to do. So we treat a lot of bike riders who get, the common complaint they come in with is, my toes go numb after 20 Ks, 40 Ks, or I've got pain in my toes, I've got pain in the ball of my foot when I'm riding, or maybe it's afterwards that you experience the pain. So if you're a bike rider, whether you're a road rider or a mountain biker, you can experience this problem in either. A lot of people do both. So if you wear cleats, so that means if you've got a clip-in, then your foot has less, you can't move your foot around as much. So you can have a certain degrees of movement in there, but compared to someone who's on a platform, if your foot starts to feel uncomfortable, then you can really easily adjust your knee or your foot. So it's really more common that we see it in people that are locked into that position in a cleat. So what do we do about it? It's actually a really simple fix, and we've had people recently who've done this and within one ride have said, wow, the difference, like no pain, no numbness, no weirdness in the ball of their foot. So if you can see that dome there, that's what we call a metatarsal dome or a metatarsal bar. Some shoes that you will buy from the bike shop will have this incorporated into it, but will never be specific for your foot type. So these are made to your foot type and foot shape. So they come in different widths and different thicknesses. So it needs to be actually done properly by a podiatrist, a physio, or a bike. A lot of the bike mechanic biomechanists that do bike setups will do this as well on an inner sole. And this one, like my pair of orthotics that I wear in my bike shoes, I can also wear in my joggers. So they can be interchangeable. So the things to remember when you're looking at forefoot pain in your clip-in shoes is the width. A lot of bike riding shoes, particularly road racing shoes, are really narrow. So it's really common that we see impingements in the forefoot and problems in the forefoot in these narrow shoes. So you've got to try and find a wider shoe. Unless you're elite, if you get a little bit of a wider shoe, it's not going to slow you down that much. For the comfort, of yourself, you probably can sacrifice a little bit of aerodynamics there and get a wider shoe. So, and then something that can accommodate something in there like this. It doesn't have to be thick. We actually make orthotics for bike shoes, for ski boots, for all sorts of types of shoes. So you need to bring your shoes in so we can match it and marry them together. So that's about it on bike riding, forefoot pain. If you're getting out there into your summer sandals these days and you're finding you're getting forefoot pain, because we're getting a lot of that happening at the moment, because you've been in your winter shoes all winter, they're nice and cushy, and then you put your sandals on that you haven't worn in 9 months, it can cause some forefoot issues. So just make sure you kind of have to wean yourself back into your summer shoes. You can't just go from winter into your summer shoes, because you're probably going to get blisters, you're going to get rubbing, you're going to get forefoot pain, you're going to get heel pain. So just be mindful of that. Put your shoes on to go to your party, wear your high heels to your party, get home, put your joggers on when you're doing the housework and things like that. So just allow, in a month or two, your body will be so used to your summer shoes again, it won't be a problem, but it's just in this first month, isn't it?
Yes.
So if you have any questions, then please drop us a comment here, send us an email, or give us a call. We're happy to chat with people over the phone as well about any of these problems. And we've actually done up a guide to eliminating foot pain. So if you comment guide in this video down below, we'll get you out your guide to eliminating foot pain. And it's basically breaking it down in step by step what you need to do, because it's completely treatable. So it's not something that you have to put up with, and you shouldn't have to put up with it. Let's just get it fixed for you and be done with it. So I think that's everything.
Yes, that's everything.
Yeah, so don't forget to comment guide down below and we will get it out to you ASAP. All right, bye guys.
Thank you.